Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Gobind and this is your Channel for Grace. Thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you to those of you that are watching the replay. We are so excited to be here tonight with my sister Chandra Sangat to talk to you guys about the astrology of Marilyn Monroe. She, believe it or not, was a Gemini, and we didn't even realize that. I mean, I knew she was a Gemini, but I didn't realize the synchronicity of the fact that we're going live on the first day of Gemini. Like, the sun today is at 0 degrees of Gemini, conjunct Alcyone, which is the heart of the Pleiades. So this is a sun portal, a Pleiadian portal, and it's a fun and loving energy. And honestly, there's no other perfect time to really do this. And specifically with this person, which is Marilyn Monroe, who was a very fun and joyful person herself. So thank you guys again for being here. And hello, Chandra. You want to say hi to everybody?
Yeah, what's going on, everyone? Thanks for being here. I'm Chandra Sangat, your modern medicine woman, and I'm here to help heal the collective. Can I make my announcements?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, cool. So we've got, remember that we have the Goddess Isis oils on sale at my Etsy site for half off only through the month of May. So you want to get these. And then the other announcement I wanted to make is remember to check out my website so you can book a human design reading. And my favorite of those are the quantum alignment parenting readings. They are epic. We're going to do some human design here, so you'll see what that's all about. My website is chandrasangat.us.
Love it. Thank you for sharing that. And if you want to stay connected to our community, make sure that you download my free moon astrology guide, which tells you what your psychic gifts are based off of your moon sign. There is a link in the description of this video to sign up for that. It'll get you on my email list, and that's the best way to stay connected. I send out a weekly forecast. It's called the Moon Magic Report, which people really love to get. And I keep hearing that it's super accurate, and that it really helps people get through their week. So that goes out every Wednesday. And we also have a community on the social media app called MeWe. There's a group called Channel for Grace Starseed Soul Tribe. There's also a page at Channel for Grace on there. And the other announcement that we'd like to make is that this weekend we are hosting a free workshop, Astrology and Essential Oils, which is something that we've been diving into lately. And this first workshop, which is a series of workshops that we're going to do once a month, is going to talk about the oils for Taurus season, the essential oils, the blend, and then a blend for Gemini season, which is all about clarity, finding clarity in your life. And the Taurus is about attracting more money and abundance into your life. And we're also going to share with you where to get the best quality essential oils. And we're going to be doing some awesome giveaways. The workshop is completely free, and you can sign up by clicking the link in the description of this video. And I would like to say hi to everybody that is
let's do it.
in the chat. Hello, Kim. How's it going? Hello, Alvaro. How's it going? Nelvin. Hello, Valerie. How's it going? Shannon. Welcome in, you guys. Kim says, I will showcase your products in my Airbnb product space if you'd like. Yes, we would totally like. We just haven't even literally gotten around to like getting together and officially talking about that and what it, like, it's just, there's, like I said, there's so much going on. It's like amazing that we're able to like actually show up on time. Hello, Chrissy.
Literally.
Welcome in. Yeah, totally. So that's that, you guys. I'm really excited about this Sunday. Make sure to get in because I believe there's only 100 spots. And last time I checked, we had over 50 people signed up for the workshop. So if you want to be have a part or find out what are the requirements for the giveaway, then make sure that you join us. And let's see, what else? I'm getting ready to release some other epic readings, composite chart readings, which is basically conscious soulmate relationship readings. If you're in a relationship with someone that you feel is your soulmate and you guys are doing work together in the world, you're working on projects together, or this is a mission type of relationship, this is what these readings are for. And I will also soon be releasing the link to my new offering of the quantum healing hypnosis therapy sessions. And I'm really excited about that as well. And you'll be able to start signing up for the month of June for anyone that wants to do this quantum healing past life regression. I have an entire episode of my podcast, which is the Channel for Grace Uncut podcast, that talks all about what quantum healing is, how it works, how past life regression works. And if you're interested in knowing more, definitely check that out. So that is all the announcements that I have, unless you have something else that you want to share. Chandra?
No, not today.
Okay, I'm also dealing with allergies.
I'm excited about this broadcast.
Yeah, we had some
chart is
pretty
epic.
synchronistic things start to show up today as soon as we officially were like, okay, yes, we're doing Marilyn Monroe. Yes. Okay, let's do it. I actually like love her. I've watched her documentary. Have you guys watched her the documentary? I think it's on YouTube. That's where I watch it, I think, but it's just fascinating and they kind of go all out. I mean, honestly, whether you know her story or not, they go all out in the documentary, and I would highly recommend it because they actually tell the truth of what actually happened to her. Of course, the truth was hidden for a long time. They called it a suicide, but it was definitely not a suicide. It was a murder. And the documentary really goes into what happened and why, and her whole life story, which is like really, really fascinating. So what should we start? Should we start with looking at...
let's do the astrology.
Okay.
Because it's super epic. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going
And
to...
at some point, how about this? Let's do the astrology. And then at some point, let's switch back to the human design so I can show everyone. And then we'll go back to the astrology chart and then I can add stuff in.
Okay. That sounds good. So I'm going to switch screens here. You'll still be able to hear Chandra, but you will soon be able to see her chart. Let me enter this code. And I will make it so that you guys can actually see me writing on it and edit it and all that good stuff. So this is really, really fascinating. And I apologize because I have allergies. So I'm going to be sneezing
Bless you.
tonight, unfortunately.
Salud.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Okay, but this is really, really exciting. And the reason why this is so cool, and I was noticing this right before, literally almost right before we went live, is that so Marilyn Monroe was a Gemini. She had her sun at 10 degrees of Gemini. Her rising was in Leo. She was a Leo rising. She had Venus in Aries, and her moon was in Aquarius. So that's a big deal because that means that her sun and her moon were both in air signs, and so they were making this like elemental trine to each other, which is like a harmonious connection. What I think is the most interesting thing about her chart, there's a lot of really cool stuff, but what I think is really cool is the fact that her sun is at 10 degrees of Gemini, which is where the North Node is right now. Now, that's wild. That's exactly where the North Node is, at 10 degrees. So there's something about her energy that is sort of like, it was the perfect, firecracker, right? It was the perfect personality to do today, to go over her astrology. The significance of 10 degrees is that it is conjunct one of the royal fixed stars called Aldebaran. And Aldebaran is connected to Archangel Michael. And Archangel Michael is the archangel of truth and protection. And whenever you activate the energy of Archangel Michael, especially if you're born with the sun at 10 degrees of Gemini, you like embody that energy and you end up being like a bringer of truth. And that is what she was. The other thing about 10 degrees of Gemini and Aldebaran is that it is also close to the Orion constellation. And this means that she was also a truth seeker, a knowledge seeker. She brought knowledge with her because she was an Orion starseed, and that's where this energy is. Her Mercury, too, being very close to Aldebaran is also a marking that is connected to this point. So it's like she communicated truth. She was curious about finding the truth. And the craziest thing is that all of these energies are literally in her 10th house of life path and career. It's like what she came to do in the limelight. When you have the sun in the 10th house, you are meant to be a public figure. That is, sun in the 10th house is like part of your mission, part of what you came here to do is to be in the public eye. And obviously we all know she very much was. The other thing is that she's got this asteroid here that is called White Moon Selena, that is the highest essence of her soul, and it is on a fixed star called Algol. And it's literally the Medusa star, and we're going to talk a little bit about why that specifically is significant in terms of Marilyn Monroe, because she literally embodied Medusa to a T. I've done videos before about Medusa and the story of Medusa and the fact that she was like the most beautiful mortal. And her story is like she literally gets raped, but then she also gets turned into this monster, right? She gets raped and then she gets turned into a monster and she gets punished for it. She gets punished for being beautiful. And in the end, she also gets beheaded, literally. She gets defeated or destroyed by Perseus. And then her head is used as this symbol of protection. Medusa's head is like, it kills other monsters, like it kills other bad guys, right? Perseus uses Medusa's head and her penetrating eyes, her penetrating gaze to petrify like the monster that's going to get Andromeda in that story. And so, I mean, like, there's so many connections here. Like, she starts with this beautiful woman. She gets raped. She gets blamed for it, for her beauty, right? She also basically gets turned into a monster, then defeated or killed. And once that happens, her symbol remains for forever like a symbol of protection and truth. That's Medusa.
Dude.
And that's
Well, why don't you tell us about what happened to Marilyn Monroe? Because
yes.
if we just talk briefly about why that is, I mean, it literally is. This Marilyn Monroe was Medusa. She was so
Yes.
beautiful and
Right.
she was so amazing and she was so attractive. Men couldn't keep their shit together.
Right.
And so she had to get gotten rid of.
Right. And it was because she was a truth finder and a truth seeker. And she was like, she brought forth knowledge that I don't think was ready for that time. Right. It didn't match the time because she was a total starseed. She was a total starseed. But her story is that long story short, she grew up and she was an orphan for a while. I think her mom gave her up. I don't remember exactly, but I think either her mom gave her up or something happened where her mom was not available to her. So I think she ended up in the foster care system, and eventually it's like some family was connected to her. They didn't want her to be she was they were moving. They wanted to move and she was going to end up in the foster care system again. And so to not do that, she got married at a really young age. Hey, babe. And when she was younger, her name was Norma Jean, right? Like, she was born as Norma Jean. That's her real name. But then obviously everybody gets a stage name and she became Marilyn Monroe. But that's very Gemini too, to be born one identity and then to completely become another one.
Says Gobind.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. So that's her story. You know, she became famous. It wasn't like all of a sudden, but what happened was she was in this relationship that wasn't working out, and she went to do a photo shoot for some kind of aviation photography. She took planes. She took photos next to airplanes. It was like some kind of air show, and they hired her, and she was young, and she did these pictures, and somehow those pictures really blew up for her, and she got noticed, and so she started
viral.
They went viral. And and so then that's when she started to, gain more popularity. She started to be well known. In her later years, which unfortunately she died very young, in her 30s, she was so famous and so beautiful, right? That like she got even the attention of the freaking president. And we know that story of like her, when she's singing Happy Birthday, Mr. President. And there's so much to that the public didn't know, but she totally had a relationship with Kennedy and his brother. And they talk about all of this in the documentary. That's why I really highly recommend that you watch it. But at this point, she was so seductive that I think President Kennedy was giving her a little bit too much, disclosing a little bit too much information. And at the time of her death, she was about to reveal something that had to do with aliens. She was about to have a press conference, like I think literally the next day. She was going to have a press conference, and she was going to reveal this information that she knew about aliens that she had found out from the president, right? So she ends up committing suicide, which the documentary goes into was not actually suicide. What actually happened was they gave her a suppository of like an overdose of barbiturates, which she did have struggles with drugs, prescription drugs and things like that, because she was like super, I mean, you can imagine like super, oh no. Oh, they
Hold
didn't see
on.
that. She was super sensitive, and so it was difficult for her, to be that much in the limelight, and there was so much pressure on her, and so she had a difficult time. And there's like all these different, movie, like there's all these experiences that they talk about, how in one of the movies she was like barely able to do her job because she was high all the time,
Oh my God.
and so that's how they were able to make it pass for a suicide, because she had drug problems, with specifically barbiturates. But the overdose was literally given to her as a suppository, and that is information that was never really put out into the public. But the documentary talks about that. And it's just fascinating. It's really sad. It's really sad because I think she had so much potential. She was a starseed, but also we're going to look at some other stuff that's going to show you like this was part of her mission. This is
Let's
part of her
look at the
mission.
human design chart for a little
Yeah,
bit.
go ahead. I'm going to switch screens. So we're back
All
to
right.
us.
All right, here we go. And I'm going to do a share screen here. Where is my share screen? Here we go. Preview. Okay. Can you see that, Jai?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool. So Marilyn Monroe was an emotional projector in human design. She was a 6'2" role model hermit, and she had a left angle incarnation, and her cognition was touch. These are the main things I want to talk about right now, and then I'll talk about her channels. But basically, as an emotional projector, she was here to understand other people, understand generators, and she was here to guide other people. Okay. As the emotional part of it is the way that she knew when something was right or not, is she needed to trust that her emotional waves, and this makes a lot of sense for the fact that she struggled and was very sensitive and was very emotional, and she was a very emotional being. She went in the ups and downs, and that because that's how she gained the information that she needed in order to know whether something was right for her or not. So she needed to wait until the emotional wave was over, having gathered all the information, and then she could be like 80% certain most of the time. If you have an emotional defined solar plexus, or defined solar plexus, then you're about between 75 to 80% sure that something's right for you. So what it looks like to people outside is the person's irrational, because they're just always emotional. They're always on some part of the emotional spectrum, and they're very expressive about it, right? So that's really interesting. The other thing about the addictions and all that was she had a really undefined spleen, which means that she was here to figure out what it meant to be safe, what it meant to be secure, what it meant to be have the right amount of resources for herself, what it meant to be healthy. So she came here to experiment in her body. People with an undefined spleen are here to experiment in their body.
Interesting.
That's so there you go, right? And then the other thing is, well, let's talk about the left angle incarnation, okay? The left angle incarnation means that she needed other people to give her insight into her destiny. So her destiny was fulfilled. We know this. I mean, everyone's destiny is fulfilled once you get to the end, right?
Right.
But her destiny was fulfilled, and it had to happen by other people. That's why it was not a suicide. because her destiny was always going to be fulfilled by someone else. Because a left angle incarnation is like other people, it's like you're a ping pong ball or you know, something like that, and then other people are constantly like shifting you in one direction or another to keep you on the path to your destiny. So you can't exist without other people because they're the ones that are keeping you in the line, right? It's like the bumpers in the bowling game, right?
Wow.
So
That's
other
wild.
people are the bumpers and they're always getting you to your destiny. So that's pretty epic, I have to say.
Yeah.
And then the touch cognition, I have the same thing. Touch is, she had an extremely powerful aura, and she affected people by just being in their presence, by being around other people. She was extremely attractive and extremely healing. People felt like she oozed wisdom. But how does one gain wisdom? Well, okay, let me backtrack. Touch cognition is about sharing wisdom, but how can you share wisdom? Well, you have to gain it. How do you gain it? By going through shit. So that's her life, going in the ups and downs of really gnarly, tumultuous situations to give her the wisdom that she was going to share. And at the age when she died, she was really coming into that wisdom. She always had it, but she was really coming into it. Now, let me talk about one last thing and then we can go back to it and then I can just keep adding, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you've all seen the chart and now you know what it looks like. The channel of synthesis is about making sure, well, first of all, let's talk about both of them. The channel of logic is a design of mental ease mixed with doubt. The channel of logic is about figuring out logically what's working and what's not working. The channel of synthesis is about sensitivity, and it is a tribal channel, which because it goes from the root to the solar plexus, and it is all about making sure that what is being put out is helping the people. So if we go back to, now we can go back to her astrological chart. I'll stop the
Mm-hmm.
share
I'm just
because
gonna
I
switch
want to look
screens. Yeah.
at all the placements she had in Aquarius.
Okay. So her placements in Aquarius are, she's got Aquarius at the cusp of her seventh house of relationships, partnerships, in general. She's got her moon in Aquarius and she's got Jupiter in Aquarius. So Jupiter is magnifying this energy in her seventh house. And the moon in
And
Aquarius.
it's,
Yeah.
yeah, so having the moon in Aquarius means that she gained joy from seeing other people happy. Like her happiness came when other people around her were happy. In her seventh house, this makes sense. Aquarius, the logical sign, about
Right.
relationships. This is the channel of logic combined with the channel of synthesis, making her basically the person that was always asking questions like, why is that that way? Why is that that way? Well, does that work for everyone? And this is probably why she attracted all the information that she attracted with her touch cognition, her aura being just really like a
Yeah.
sponge,
That is
gaining
like,
all that energy and knowledge from the president and everybody else in the government that she met. And then she was going to share it because she needed to break down the systems that weren't helping everyone because she could see it clear as day.
right, because the Aquarius energy is having a higher perspective. Jupiter expands everything it touches. That means that her relationships were the biggest thing in her life. And because she was someone who was born to be in the limelight, that means that her relationships would, everything in her life would be in the limelight. And that is her emotional well-being, her life purpose, everything that had to do with this area of relationships is one of those things that really was like for out there for everyone to see. Can you tell me a little bit? I'm going to switch back to us. I want you to tell me a little bit more. What
Yeah.
does it mean to be an emotional projector?
Yeah. So we can just talk about what does it mean to be a projector? Well, projectors, okay, first of all, their aura, the projector's aura is sort of condensed and piercing. So they can basically focus on one person at a time and get to the core of them. They pierce to the G center. That's the main yellow center at the middle of the human design graph, but they pierce to the core, and this is how they guide generators, right?
Mm-hmm.
So their projectors are here to guide generators. Projectors are about, I think it's 9% of the population,
Wow.
and don't quote me on that, but it's very small amount. And
Wow.
then you have generators who are about 20% of the population, right? So it's a very small number of projectors to the large number of generators. Well, generators basically make the world go round. Makes sense. It's 80% of the population.
Yeah.
Generators are here. They don't exist. Projectors don't exist without generators because projectors are non-energy beings, meaning they don't have the motor defined. And that's the motor in the human design, the sacral center. So they don't have any of their own energy to sustain. They sometimes do, but they sometimes don't. Having that energy undefined or open means that they don't have consistent energy from that center. So they require other people to continue the work that they do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As an emotional projector, it meant that for her, she needed to wait until she wasn't in an emotional state till she was at the basic homeostasis emotional place, whatever that was for her, to know whether to do something or not do something.
Mm.
Okay. Being a projector also made her extremely vulnerable because when she was focusing on one other person, she was vulnerable to the conditioning of all the auras of the people around her,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense because she did. And this makes sense for how everyone felt so good around her, like
Mm-hmm.
how men couldn't stay
Yeah,
away
she
from
was
her
like a
because
light.
she
Yeah.
could focus all the energy on them.
Wow.
And that's a really nice feeling with her touch cognition in combination with that, which is like a really beautiful gift. I mean, with her hands, she could make people feel things.
Wow. That's
And
incredible. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. So I'm going to go back to the astrology chart because I do want to mention a few other things that I think are really significant. We can talk about the nodes, and we can talk about the Chiron, which was the
Oh,
healing
yeah.
journey that she was on. So she was, I mentioned this in the beginning, but she was a Leo rising, which means that Leo is like loves being in the limelight, and Leo has always have that beautiful energy, like big energy, right? So that explains, that aligns with what you're saying about her big aura, that energy that she had. The other thing that she had in her first house was her Neptune, which was in Leo as well. But Neptune in the first house meant that she had a very mysterious kind of look to her. This is how you embody, this is your identity. This is literally how your body looks. Neptune is mysterious. It's like a siren, right? Sirens are very Neptunian. They are like super beautiful, but then they like will kill you, like that's very Gemini too. Also, her Ceres was also in Leo, which is also how she nurtured. So she nurtured through her identity. She nurtured through her physical, the way that she physically, literally what looked in the world and how she defined herself. So that's really important. The other thing I wanted to mention is that she did have Taurus at the cusp of the 10th house of career, which means that her being in the limelight. Yes, she was a Gemini, but her highest essence was Algol, which is also on the Pleiades. So she was also a Pleiadian starseed, but she was also Venusian. And she literally, her job, her career was to be Venus. Like straight up is to be Venus, to be observed, to be seen, and her beauty. It was her beauty that was her life, part of her life path. It played a really, really, really big role. And it's so interesting because normally we think of an actress or a model and we think, oh, like a bimbo, right? Because like it's just looks, but there's nothing behind that. Normally that's how we think of models or actresses or things like that, right? But Marilyn was very, very smart. And it's those powerful starseed markings in her chart on her sun and her Mercury and her white moon Selena that she was like super smart. And so there was like the looks and the smarts. And I think that's another reason why everyone had, like, especially the men had it. She was irresistible because she could be like all over, right? She could be in all different circles. And I think she was in many, many different circles. She could mingle with everyone. That's very Gemini as well. So that's very significant to know. Also, her healing journey with Chiron and Taurus, her healing journey that she was on was to heal her sense of self-esteem, to heal her sense of value, to heal her sensuality. And I think that part of the way that she did that was to embody her sensuality, and that helped her heal in her life. She was a Venus in Aries, which means she was she had a fiery desire. Like Venus is your deepest desires. And what she really desired was to be independent, like to be on her own, to be to do things herself. And she had a very fiery personality. So in relationships, I can tell you that she was like kind of a loudmouth, like she like you see, like Aries energy can be very much like, I'm going to say whatever the hell I want whenever the hell I want it. And whenever the hell I want to say it.
And you're going to like it.
Yeah, exactly right. And so she was very fiery, and in relationships, it was like she was really wild, like a wild child. But also that's a very fun energy as well. In terms of her drive, like what drove her in life is this Pisces energy, Mars in Pisces. What drove her was the veil, like going behind the veil and pulling out things that are hidden.
In the 8th house, which is all about transformation.
And
it's the Tower card.
Yes.
And the Death card.
So it's like having Mars in Scorpio, which is a strong position, which is relentless, and whatever it wants, it will get. So in this Pisces energy, though, it was like her, what drove her in life was her dreams and her visions and her perspective of life. And I can tell you that those dreams and visions and perspectives of life were so unique, alien-like, because there's Mars conjunct Uranus. So she was driven. She was very, very unique in her drive. Like the way that she did things was very, very different than most people. Because like she was very evocative too. She was very in herself. It was like dreams or visions. She was very psychic. She was driven by her intuition, and she also, her unique flair was like very mysterious. Like mystery was like her middle name, and that's what made it, I think, so seductive. It's like that siren energy, because if you think of it as the dispositor, of this Pisces energy in her chart, it's actually her Neptune, which is in her first house of identity. And so her uniqueness and her like diving into the unknown, diving into things that, you know, she had no business, you know what I mean? Like uncovering, looking under the veil. She had no business, obviously, like as an actress or whatever, but that was her, one of her passions, was to uncover what was behind the veil, to find the truth. And that was part of her mission as well, is to do that. And so those energies all played together really well. She also had Saturn in Scorpio, which is also a strong energy. Her authority, in a sense, was very much scorpionic, and it was like she was almost like, oh, I'm getting Grim Reaper kind of energies, like she
Yeah.
could make you or break you, you know, like with her beauty. And when we look at the nose, which tells us like, okay, what's her life purpose, what's her destiny, and what's her past life karmic things, in a past life, she was super focused on things like being structured, focused on, you know, maybe career, focused on, this is also a Lyran starseed marking. So she was one of the most ancient souls in our galaxy. She was like an old soul that came in for a very specific reason. But South Node Capricorn, also in the sixth house, is like having South Node in Virgo, which is about being here in the moment and being organized and focusing on the right here and the right now. With Capricorn, it's like career, life path. Like she was very like she had her shit together in a past life, and that's the wisdom and the gifts that she came into this world with. And what she was supposed to do was to channel that, right, through her North Node in Cancer. So her job was to, her part of her destiny was to connect to her heart space, to listen to her emotions, to understand, and to nurture. Like she could have very well have been a mother. This was something that, to nurture in some way, shape, or form others. Also, with the North Node in her 12th house, she was here to have a divine experience. She was here to have a spiritual experience. Again, we see Neptune energies, right? And she was very Neptunian, with Neptune in her first house. So she was dreamy, and she was here to have a spiritual divine experience that would like awaken her and evolve her soul. The interesting thing here is that her North Node is on the Sirius star system. And the Sirius star system is about, it's a very intuitive energy. They are very intuitive beings. They are very Neptunian too, because it is through their creativity and their like fantasies that they are, that's how they express themselves, the Sirius star beings. They are the most intuitive of the beings, and the ones that really tap into, they're also very shy. Sirius starseeds are very shy until they find those people that they truly connect with, and then they feel safe with, and then they can feel, they can open up. But the interesting thing is that Pluto was right there too. And Pluto is the planet of death, change, transformation. Pluto is also where your power lies. So her power was in being in her destiny, in living out her destiny. And because Pluto holds that theme of death, it's almost like in her death, she fully completed her destiny. It's like she came here to die in a very public way. Like that's just crazy. There's a lot of starseed energy in her chart. Yeah. So I just think that is it's crazy to me to see all of those synchronicities. Let me go back to both of us together. If there's something else you want to share from her human design chart after.
Yeah, I'm just looking at all of that and thinking about the whole thing about her being so nurturing, and that really speaks to the touch cognition. I just looked up JFK Jr.'s chart. He
Oh,
was a
nice.
manifesting generator who, get
Ooh.
this, also had touch cognition. So they made each other feel really good.
Wow.
Like it was magnetic. for both of them. And as a
Wow.
manifesting generator, he was there to give her his energy. So that is how she got all that information. It was that beautiful symbiotic relationship between the generators and the projectors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's really, really, really
It's
amazing.
fascinating. Also,
Yeah,
she wasn't killed by Kennedy. Like, Kennedy was not the one that killed her. It was the
no,
CIA. And it was because she was going to
no,
reveal, right?
it was
And then they
above his
killed
pay
him.
grade at that point.
And then they killed, yeah, right? And then they killed him, right? So, like, they both ended up
Yeah,
dead, which is crazy, right?
yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah.
So,
Oh, Kimber says all of this made me cry. Yeah, it's really intense. It's really intense stuff because she was a really beautiful, nurturing being. When you have the North Node in Cancer, you just ooze that.
mm-hmm,
Because even from birth, like you're here to be nurturing, and whatever space that is, right, in her 12th house.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
she's here to nurture us through her death.
mm-hmm. Dude.
Gnarly.
Oh, and then the thing about her becoming infinite, it's like she has not she did
Yes.
not die. It's like
No.
her death,
Here we are.
her death made her immortal,
Hmm.
which is
And that
crazy.
was Medusa.
Yes, that was
And it was
Medusa.
because her Jupiter, in combination with her moon,
Mm-hmm.
expanded the Aquarius energy infinitely. Aquarius energy is already like really expansive. And the Jupiter in Aquarius expanded her energy to a level that was timeless.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's why, in fulfilling her destiny with Pluto, her North Node in Cancer, basically almost conjuncting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude,
Mm-hmm.
like, how much
Mm-hmm.
more of destiny in your very public demise do you have to get
Mm-hmm.
than that?
Right?
And that's what happened. Her very public demise, which we're still talking about right now, is what made her timeless.
Mm. And then I wanted to talk about her progress chart from the day that she died.
Oh, yes.
So here's her
Yes.
progress chart from the day that she died. Her sun had progressed into Cancer. Her moon had progressed into Gemini. And she was in a phase in her progress chart where the moon was waning balsamic. And that was a time in her life where she was supposed to let go of anything that did not serve her in her life at all. Let go, release, give in. And this is the phase right before you excuse me, right before you have a new moon phase in your life, which means a whole 28.5 year cycle. Sorry, I have to blow my nose. But basically, if I fast forward, oh my God, I was not expecting to be having a sneezing attack today. If I fast forward to when, so she died in 1962, to when the moon finally caught up with her sun. Woo. Okay, so it literally, okay, so wow, this is so crazy. So 2 years later, if she had survived, and 2 years later, she would have had her new moon phase, progress phase, that would have been exactly conjunct her sun and her Pluto. And she would have like literally blasted, like all of this power would have fully come to her. And that's really, really interesting to me just to see that her Mars had also progressed into the sign of Aries. So a lot of people don't actually experience a Mars progression because Mars moves really slow in the progress chart. But the fact that when she passed, and probably until years before, there was a point in her life where her Mars had moved into the sign of Aries, and so she was much more forceful in her action. And one of the last things that we know about her is that she was about to reveal some information that had to do with aliens in a press conference, and that the day, I think the day right before, was when she was murdered. And so she was like, I'm gonna go do it, because that's what Mars does. Like, I'm gonna go do this, I don't care. Excuse me. Okay, let me go back
Bless
to
you.
us. Yeah. So that's that. I think it's fascinating, and I think it's fascinating how much she basically, all of this information, her chart and her human design, have literally activated and shown us that that's exactly how she was, and that's exactly what her life gave the world. Is there anything else
Yeah.
you want to add, Chandra?
I'm trying to think. I think we got it. I mean, it was just like the combination of all of the aspects and how amazingly of an epic starseed she was on this
Mm-hmm.
planet. I mean, she was definitely here to make a huge splash
Yes.
and to really make us think. And it's funny because all the stuff that she probably uncovered were literally synchronistically finding out about right now with the aliens,
Yeah.
because that's what they just released not too long ago,
That's
saying,
true. Yeah.
well, yes, all those videos and all the, the
It's
recordings
all
of the Air
real.
Force dudes saying like, we don't know what the F that is, are real.
Yeah.
And we didn't know what the F that was.
And she was a starseed, so like, and she had Jupiter and the moon in Aquarius, which means that she was very much interested in aliens. I mean, like, that's Aquarius energy. They are alien like. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Boom.
yeah. It's just fascinating to me. I absolutely love her. I've always loved her. Like, I've always felt a deep connection to her. A lot. I didn't even know she was a Gemini until recently, actually, but because I always like just admired her. But I think that happens to a lot of Geminis. Like, somebody said in the chat that her daughter loves Marilyn Monroe, and she's also a Gemini. So it's like it's got to be a Gemini thing. The attraction to her, the connection to her, because like we said, she's like immortal now. She did not die, So I feel
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I mean, how synchronistic is it also that like on this day where the sun just entered Gemini and we're having this very beautiful Pleiadian portal, we do the astrology for a famous person that happens to be a Gemini, where her sun is literally conjunct the North Node right now. And I wonder if there's like a message there for us as a collective for this Gemini season. And I think that there is. And I think that it's the true, it's like full circle, right? From when she was alive, and the legacy that she left, and the things unsaid, the unsaid things, I think now are coming alive. I think that is
Yeah,
crazy. I think
exactly.
that's why we chose her, and that's why this is happening right now.
Exactly. I mean, it's just what she came to expose was going to be exposed no matter what. And she helped it along.
Yeah.
She helped it along because how do we know that that's what she was going to tell about? Well, she told some people. So she started the exposing of it. The thing is, from her human design chart, she is an observer. She is not observed. So she wasn't an influencer. So, and she also, so she wasn't here to like influence people. in the grand way. She did influence all of us, but meaning like during her life, it was definitely much more of a contained existence. So the influence really came about towards the end of her life. And when she was really starting to get to very, very close to all of the things that basically culminated in her death,
And I
which
think
is
what's so
so crazy gnarly.
And I think what's so significant too, that we're bringing her up right now, and that we just so happen to choose this on this day, and during this time that we're living in, we're like, truth is unveiling. I mean, the North Node is in Gemini, and she's a truth bringer. She has, the Sun on Aldebaran, which is the bringer of truth and protection of that truth. And so I
And
think,
Jupiter just entered Pisces and is starting to cover all of that energy
yeah,
in her chart.
yeah. And the fact that like she um what she represents for us right now, it's like, let's not have it end that way. But I think it's very symbolic of what is happening, right now in the world, is that like the North Node on Aldebaran is the truth is coming out, things are getting unveiled, and she's a representative of that energy. So I just think it's super powerful that it's, happening right now at this time.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's really, it's like it's epic. I love it. Her
Yeah.
chart is fascinating.
Yeah.
I can't like stop looking at it. There's so many cool markings on it. Like we could probably talk about it forever. And then if we go into
Yeah.
her progress chart, onto the several aspects of her life, like maybe if we even looked at like all of the stuff regarding her previous relationship. And oh, the other thing I did want to say was with her moon in Aquarius, and you always say this, Jai, that's where you have the most changes in your life, and that's in her seventh house of
That's right.
relationships.
That's where the most fluctuation
Yeah.
happens. Yeah, and that was in her
So,
relationships. And also
yeah.
the psychic gift of the moon in Aquarius is like one of them is prophecy.
Yes.
So it's almost
Well,
like she was
being a seer, and for
yeah.
sure with Jupiter in that area, I mean,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah. Being a
Really,
seer
I mean,
and
she could like see through the veil. On top of that, having her Mars in Pisces, I mean, get out of here.
yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, Valerie just said I gave the wrong information about JFK, so forget that.
Who did?
I gave the wrong JFK.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let's find the real one.
Let's look at. All right, let's find the real one. Okay, hang on a second. JFK.
That's funny though, because that did match.
I know, but it does. Well, I mean, it was. I gave JFK Jr. and we're wanting JFK. So
Ah, interesting.
it is a. Oh, okay. JFK was an emotional projector,
No.
just like Marilyn.
No.
And
So
get this. He had, well, let me go back to this chart. Yep, she had an undefined
no
heart
wonder that's
center.
why he was
And
assassinated too.
yes, and he had a defined heart center. So he gave her the grounding she needed to not have to keep justifying her worth,
Wow. No
because that's
wonder.
what the heart center is. When you have an undefined heart center, you feel like you always have to justify your value and your worth. She
Oh
had,
my god.
wait, did you say she had Chiron and Taurus?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Always
he
feeling like she has to justify her worth. Well, with him, she didn't.
yeah, wow, that is
And she
so
gave him grounding because she had a defined, this is very interesting.
what's
So
his
she has a
information?
defined root and he has an undefined root. So she gave him grounding and clarity. and direction.
What was his information?
His is May 29, 1917 at 15, so 3 p.m. in Brookline. It says Brookline, USA. Not Brooklyn. It says Brookline on my chart here.
How do you spell it?
Brookline. Let me just look it up. Where was JFK born?
Yeah. I want to see the two charts together. That's going to be
He
interesting.
was Brookline, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Really close to Boston. Wow, they definitely had money. Okay.
It's hilarious.
Like downtown Boston. Okay.
Okay, I don't even know how to spell that. How do you spell Massachusetts?
There was the same kind of very, very MASSACHU. It doesn't say, it just says MA for me. Sorry, guys.
All right. Lord have mercy. Okay, let me. Maybe I'm spelling. Okay, there we go.
Mass.
Oh, it's because I'm missing a T. Okay.
Yes, MASSACHUSETTS.
I got it. Okay, now I'm going to share the chart. Hang on. Give me a second. I'm going to share this chart.
I got it. The melody to Funky Town. Do, 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 do.
Dude. Okay, so I'm going to take a picture. So
Valerie says his dad made his money bootlegging. Epic.
May 29th, 1917 at 3 p.m.
Of course, they were Irish.
That's hilarious. Okay.
Yes, you got that right.
Let's do this. Oh, no. What am I doing? No, that makes sense. Okay, here we go.
So as a projector, he also needed to wait for the recognition and the invitation. What I think happened to both of them is they didn't wait for the recognition or the invitation.
Damn,
they were like, we're just going to come over here and tell everybody what we know.
Look at this.
And then people were like, we don't want you to tell anyone what you know. What?
Are you looking at this? You can't see it. Look
at. Oh, I can't see it yet. It's gonna pop up in a sec.
Look at it in the YouTube.
Boom!
Video.
There you go. It's there. This is the synastry.
Yeah. He was also a Gemini with his sun on Aldebaran too. That is insane.
So they were going to reveal it together.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were working together to reveal this truth. And she was the one that was going to say it because obviously the president couldn't come out and be like, I'm going to do a side conference.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He was a Libra rising.
Ooh, that is why everybody loved him. He's so attractive.
But that was trining.
That's the Libra energy.
Trining her sun. Let's see. He had Chiron in Pisces.
He
had Uranus in Aquarius.
Journey was about finding the divine.
Mm-hmm. And they had a strong connection because his Juno was in Aquarius and her moon, his white moon Selena as well, and his Uranus, and then that. So like his Uranus in Aquarius, which like he was very much alien too, was totally conjunct his Jupiter.
Alien soulmates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at her Juno in Pisces right there with all his other Pisces
look
stuff.
At this interesting thing.
Is that his white moon Selena?
Yeah. But look at how interesting this is. He had North Node Capricorn, South Node Cancer.
Oh.
So they had opposite nodal. They had opposite nodal connections, but his South
Node
helped
each other figure out their true north. Because she knew how he was supposed to get there, and he knew how she was supposed to get there.
He had a moon in
They both
Virgo.
came from the place where they were trying to go for each other.
And the interesting thing is whatever is connected with the south node, that's the karma. And it was her Pluto, his south node. So it was a strong karmic connection where like she kind of overpowered him.
Can
What?
I say it?
Yeah.
Twin flames.
Oh. That's hilarious.
Alien soulmates. Nelvin is laughing. It's true though. Alien twin flames, yo.
Dude.
The
Yeah, because
wowzer.
and her north node was in Cancer and his midheaven was in Cancer, which means that like somehow she aligned with his life path. Somehow her purpose was aligned with his life path, which was to be.
I don't think. Can we do a? Let's do a.
Composite?
What do you call it? Yeah, let's do it real quick.
Oh.
I mean, they were working together. What was their combined mission?
All right, hang on. I got to pull that up on. Oh, I don't know if I can do it. Well, I can look it up. Let me see, because I need to pull it up on my other. You can talk to everybody for a minute while I try to pull it up on my other computer. I can't do it on my iPad.
Kim says she was his male in a past life, and he was the female. I see that, Kim. That makes so much sense. Like they switched places this time because they were each other's karma with their nodes opposite. They were definitely supposed. I mean, this was so much more than destined.
Mm-hmm.
So much more than destined. I mean,
Yeah.
It was literally written in the stars.
That's crazy, dude.
So
Okay.
that's what's up.
So I'm gonna put.
That's incredible.
Let's see if I can pull this up. Okay, Marilyn Monroe. You got to give me the details. What's her birthday?
Oh,
June
man. Okay.
1st.
June 1st, 26 at 9:30 a.m.
9:30 a.m. in Los Angeles, California. Okay.
And he was May 29, 17 at 3 p.m. in Brookline, Massachusetts.
Okay, you're going to have to say that again. May
29,
1917.
At 3 p.m. in Brookline, Massachusetts.
Okay. So
his cognition was taste, so he knew what tasted good and what tasted bad. So now we know.
all right, let me see if I can hang
Thanks for bringing that up, Valerie. That was like a total fail on my part. I'm so glad we looked it up.
Yeah, exactly right. Okay, so hang on. Let me go to. Sorry, thanks for being patient, you guys. This is actually really interesting.
Yeah, I want to know. And fun fact, Jai is now offering these.
Oh, that's true.
For you to enjoy. So here we go. We didn't even have to plan it out, Jai. It came to us, and that's the best way to do it.
That's crazy.
We were trying to think of how to show you guys a composite chart. Where here you go.
All right, calculate. Okay, and then let's just show the first chart. See, Charles. Hang on, I'm trying to get this so that I can show you guys on the freaking screen, okay?
Yeah. I'll wait. We'll wait.
Okay, good. I'm really glad. Tell them about your new puppy.
OMG, you guys. I'm getting a dog.
But tell them why.
Her midnight. Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh. I needed to announce that tonight.
Yeah,
okay, so here we go.
There you go.
This is what we're doing. Julia, you all know, most of you know that my daughter, Julia, has type 1 diabetes, and she was diagnosed just a year ago, May 15th of 2020 during lockdown. To say that it was gnarly is not even the half of it. So there's that. Did you just text me something?
Maybe by accident.
Oh, okay, that's fine. And
Uh-huh.
type 1 diabetes in kids is really challenging because, especially for me as a single mom, in the middle of the night, her alarm's going off, and sometimes I don't hear it because I'm so freaking tired of the day because I'm basically her spleen, her pancreas for the entire day. And I have to make sure that she's within a certain range and it's very small. And it's really easy as kids to get off the range because, you know, all of us, we like to eat bread, we like to eat cookies, we like to eat fruit, we like to eat candy, and fruit's better, veggies are good, but then, like, you know, all the other stuff we like. And it's also really terrible because I don't want to tell her no to those things because she's already like traumatized about having diabetes. So I need a dog. I need a diabetes alert dog, which is the reason why we're getting a puppy, and it's going to be amazing. But the whole rigmarole for this announcement is that I'm opening a fund. So any donation to my PayPal, which is the PayPal at Chandra Sangat, will be used for funding getting this dog, which is actually super duper expensive because the training is expensive. The dog is really expensive because it has to be a very particular type of dog and a particular temperament and all of this, and also all of the equipment and all of the training and the time that it takes to train. So all in all, it's like a little bit over $2,500. So any donations are so highly appreciated for us and all of that. So all of my mini readings that I'll be doing for the next however long until we raise that are going to specifically go so that we can help Julia. Number one, help me so that I can manage in the middle of the night. Because I need, you know, a dog to like lick my face or something like that to be able to wake up, because it's actually really dangerous. If you go low in the middle of the night, I mean, it's life or death. Like we're not gonna go there, but this is why we need the dog, right? And then number two, and for me, really, really important, I have my moon in Aquarius. I get my happiness when other people are happy, is that it will be her best friend. It already is her best friend. We've met the dog. She already named it Midnight. She's
That's so
beautiful. She's a
cute.
beautiful purebred Labrador Retriever, black Labrador Retriever puppy. She's amazing. It's going to be epic. So thanks, Jai, for mentioning that. Thanks for letting me go on and on about it. And thank all of you for any of your very kind donations. And then for mini readings as well. Sign up for, oh, there it is. There's the baby. There's the
That's the
baby girl,
puppy.
Midnight.
That's Midnight.
There's the baby girl, Midnight.
Yeah. So the
She's
way it
so
works,
stinking cute.
Valerie, is they get the dog and then they have to take it to training sessions every month and to make sure it's trained, and it has to be a puppy, and you know it's that whole story because
It's a 2-year training, and but it has to get imprinted to Julia's scent, because the way they get whether she's going too low on her glucose readings or too high is by the smell. That all dogs could do it, but this dog is perfect because the dog has to be able to go with her everywhere she goes, like everywhere. They're playing just like a seeing eye dog.
it's a straight up service
And
dog. Yeah.
straight up service dog.
Yeah.
Kim says, "Oh my
Yeah.
god."
It's so freaking
Dude,
cute.
I know. Oh
So-
my god, me too.
So
But it is really it's a very serious thing, and it's actually, so this will actually bring us a little bit of peace, and so that's why I appreciate it so much, because it's a super intense diagnosis, it's a super intense situation, and this will just make our lives this much easier, and that will feel like
Yeah.
so much more.
yeah.
So
All right.
thank you all.
for sharing that. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm going to
thanks,
ask you
Jai.
to post your PayPal link in
Yep, I'm
the
doing it right now.
description. And I'm going to switch over here to this screen so we can look at the composite chart of JFK and Marilyn Monroe. So a composite chart is basically the merged energies of the two charts. You have to know the time of birth for both charts. It finds the midpoint of all of the planets and it creates a third chart. And so it tells you what is the purpose, the destiny of this relationship. What did they accomplish together? And we can do this because obviously they did have a relationship and they were like obviously famous historical figures. Normally you would do this kind of chart for someone you are in a relationship with who you feel is a conscious soulmate, a conscious partner. You're doing something together, you're on a mission, you're on a, you could be on a twin flame journey, but I would say if you have to be together, like not in separation, you have to be in union and you have to be like on the same page and really supporting each other for this kind of reading to really work. But we're going to look at this because I think it's really interesting. The first thing that we see over here is that combined their sun was in at 9 degrees of Gemini, exactly on Aldebaran. So the exact degree is 9 degrees. So they were both, the composite chart is sun on Aldebaran. You could literally see it right there. They had Mercury and Venus in Taurus, and they were both very close to Algol. So they both had this very kind of seductive way of speaking and a seductive way of being together. They were like a seductive couple, and together they were both like Medusa, like martyrs almost kind of a thing. Like they had to be sacrificed. You know what I mean?
And he, in human design, he was a martyr heretic.
Oh, wow.
So that's where they basically are just what it says, the heretics, but then they're martyred for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they bring out truth and then they get
they're
literally shot.
Okay, so their combined moon, their composite moon is in Sagittarius, and it is basically opposing the sun. So together they create a full moon effect. The relationship creates like intensified energies, intensified emotions.
Oh, wow. Epic manifestation of grand proportions, and their sun being in the 9th house.
And the moon close to Antares, which creates that diametrical opposition between those two fixed stars. That is the Antares being the heart of the Scorpion. So where the truth comes through, and it gets it shines through the sun. There's a lot going on in their with their south node, their combined south node, their karma. Together they have south node in Aries, Chiron in Aries, Mars in Aries, Jupiter in Aries, Black Moon Selena in Aries. And this is interesting. This is close to the story of Andromeda, the Andromeda starseed marking, which is the story of how Medusa is defeated by Perseus, and then her head is used to save Andromeda. So that the
holy mackerel.
I know, that's crazy. Together it's like that starseed marking like literally shows up. Jupiter magnifies that energy. They're both in the relationship in like a past life kind of karmic sense. They were very independent, but in this lifetime, their combined purpose and destiny was North Node in Libra, which is to learn to work together, to learn to collaborate with other people and to work with other people. And this is also North Node in the 2nd house, which is North Node in Taurus, which is actually to embody and really shine that Venusian energy and find stability. So it's interesting that you said something about they stabilized each other.
Yeah. They gained stability together. He gave her self-worth and which is the Chiron thing for her, which in Taurus is the 2nd house of stability and security. And he gave her she gave him stability by her defined root.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, together they were here on a mission to find stability. I do want to say, I mean, we just talked about her being the Medusa, and then
Mm-hmm.
combined, they're the Medusa whose head got chopped off.
That's the karma.
Which
That's the past life
they
stuff.
both, yeah,
And
but
the
which they
combined,
both
yeah,
ended up
right? Yeah.
experiencing
Yeah.
literally.
And then so it's funny because North Node Libra, for the relationship itself, the composite chart, is they were meant to be together because Libra
Yes.
is relationship.
Of two coming together.
It's very interesting. Yeah, it's like the Venus, the energy of Venus. And then there was one more thing. They were a Virgo rising together. So that was very much is the energy of the Virgin. So it was like, I think they had good intentions, and they could really together, I think, give off like really love each other. But I think also they may have together felt a little bit kind of like neurotic in a way as well, because that Virgo can be very like anxious. They were very anxious when they were together. It was like anxious energy as well.
Yeah, their relationship was extremely loyal. I think that was
Yes,
something that other people were probably really scared of. We talk about Virgo being loyal to the next like 10th levels.
right. The
And
power,
and also it being about fixing things.
yeah. And the power of the relationship it's so funny, was found in Pluto in Cancer. That was the power. That's what held their power, was like their heart. The heart was their
Mm,
emotions are what gave them power, which is exactly what being they were both emotional projectors, right?
yes,
So
that's
that's it
exactly
right there.
right.
Their power came through their emotions, and together they were that same thing, just kind of magnified. It's just fascinating.
I love the composite chart. To look at the combined, so their combined Mars was in Aries with their South Node, which is what happened. Their action oriented mission
Yeah.
was with the demise of Medusa.
And it was conjunct Chiron too. So it was like they were both on the Chiron and Aries. As for the relationship, was they needed to discover who they were,
Mm,
and they would only really discover it by being in the relationship.
wow.
So super fascinating. Yeah, amazing. Okay, I'm going to switch back to us. I want to say thank you guys so much for being here in this broadcast tonight and hanging out with us, and putting up with all my sneezing.
It
But
wasn't
I
that
think,
bad tonight.
okay, good. I think that was super fascinating to me. I love doing these broadcasts. I don't know what we're going to do next, but if you do have suggestions, feel free to put them in the chat. And I will be
Taylor
live.
Swift.
Oh, maybe we'll do Taylor Swift. I will be live tomorrow evening with Jason from Ray of Light Tarot doing mini readings. If you want to get on the list for tomorrow night, it's going to be $33.33 sent to my PayPal. And I know that list is going to fill up, so don't wait to get on it. And then we will go live at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow to do mini readings on this channel. And I hope to see you guys there. And then the next time that we are going live is next week, right? For the Magic of Venus.
Yeah, we have our workshop.
Oh,
So
that's
if you want
right.
to
We have
sign
our
up, that's
workshop on
Sunday.
Sunday. So come hang out with us for this free workshop to make some really epic essential oil blends that are for Taurus and Gemini season. The workshop, like I said, is free, and we're going to be doing some epic giveaways, and also telling you where to find the best quality oils. So thank you guys so much. And we hope you have a beautiful rest of your week, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye.
Have a good one, everybody.